Look at it truly now, and oh my God, I caught you. Ooh, red-handed again. Look at me honestly into my eyes and tell me you were ever my friend. What a way to ever lose somebody. What if I said I knew it all along? You're a dime, a liar, lousy, no good, cheating on me, money, motherfucker, the end. I'm a fool, I'm a sucker, you're the devil undercover. Can't believe I fell for that again. You love to accuse me now, and oh my God, I hate you. I wish we never met. You use and abuse me now, and you're the one who's guilty. I hear you talk to your friends. What a way to ever lose somebody. What if I said I knew it all along? You're a dime, a liar, lousy, no good, cheating on me, money, motherfucker, the end. I'm a fool, I'm a sucker, you're the devil undercover. Can't believe I fell for that again. Can't believe I fell for that again. You're a dime, a liar, lousy, no good, cheating on me, money, motherfucker, the end. I'm a fool, I'm a sucker, you're the devil undercover. Can't believe I fell for that again. You're a dime, a liar, lousy, no good, cheating on me, money, motherfucker, the end. I'm a fool, I'm a sucker, you're the devil undercover. Can't believe I fell for that again. Can't believe I fell for that again. Can't believe I fell for that again.
Good evening, wrestling fans. Ken Resnick with you here, coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, the Showboat Pavilion, and tonight the AWA is on display. Joining me tonight, Jesse the Body Ventura, and we've got AWA wrestling action coming your way next. All right, we are back here on the Nation Network, and we are ready to kick things off with our opening contest. Making his way down the aisle towards the ring, the one and only Sergeant Slaughter. Jess, you know a lot about this man. What can you tell us?
Well, you know what? I know about as much as everybody else. We've all seen him for a long time. He's a patriot through and through. As a former Navy SEAL, I can appreciate that. But as a drill sergeant, he's used to having his way, and when it comes to professional wrestling, that's not always going to be the case.
Well, tonight he's going up against somebody that he has wanted to get in the ring for quite some time, Colonel De Beers. Since the destruction of the Allied forces at the hands of Sergeant Slaughter and the Cobra Corps, Sergeant Slaughter has let his men go as they were.
Well, yeah, they earned a little R&R, but Slaughter's work is never done. Just ask him and he'll tell you.
There is the Colonel. From South Africa. And he's made it very clear he is not a fan of anyone of a, let's say, darker persuasion.
Well, it comes from a different place at a different time in some ways, but he's a firm believer in apartheid, and obviously the rest of the world really doesn't see eye to eye with him. But I would expect right now Sergeant Slaughter, as you mentioned earlier, has been waiting a long time for the opportunity. And now that the opportunity has arrived, I would expect Sergeant Slaughter to basically do everything he's been waiting to do one-on-one. But it won't be easy, because I can tell you right now, Colonel De Beers, he's as tough as they come, and he'll give Slaughter everything he gets.
Well, we're not going to have to wait much longer. These two are about ready as soon as that bell rings. Referee signals for the bell, and this one is underway to kick us off here for AWA Championship Wrestling. Once again, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, the Showboat Sports Pavilion. Top wrist lock. Got to admit, a little surprised to see this thing starting out with a wrestling hold.
Well, there you go. There's your fist. You happy now?
Not about being happy, it's just what I was not anticipating. But even now, Slaughter working an armbar.
He's working it real well, too. He's got that on there. De Beers wasn't liking it too much. Collar and elbow. Slaughter just throwing him down like he's nothing.
Now Slaughter has him up on his back, and what's he going to do with him? Oh, my God. A flapjack plants him face first into the middle of the mat. Tremendous suplex now by Sergeant Slaughter. Drops the leg. And now Slaughter going to work on Colonel De Beers. Wait a minute, what's that?
Well, there's some music playing, and that sounded awful familiar there for a moment, but he turned his back, and that's a mistake.
Never turn your back on Colonel De Beers. I believe that was Larry Zbyszko's music we heard playing.
Well, it may be, because Zbyszko and Slaughter recently have had a few words. To say there's been a difference of opinion would be a minor understatement.
And now Slaughter, once again, back in control of this one. Snapmare takes him over. And De Beers does a good job of reversing out of that one.
Oh, nice move right there by De Beers. I thought he was going to go for the sleeper hold, but then instead drove the head of Sergeant Slaughter into the mat. And now the neutralizer.
Oh, he just caught him with it. Sergeant Slaughter may be done.
He's close to the ropes. I just don't think he knows it.
Slaughter gets a shoulder up off the mat before the referee can count 3. Colonel De Beers almost putting away Sergeant Slaughter. I don't know if that would be an upset, but...
Or maybe the way it would have happened would have been.
And now Slaughter may be unconscious the way he struck that turnbuckle pad. And now fighting his way back, Slaughter, belly to belly. He couldn't get it.
Tremendous reversal right there by Colonel De Beers. De Beers really knows what he's doing in this match. He came ready to fight, and fight he is.
Oh, again planting Slaughter face first.
You know, that distraction earlier on, I mean, you wonder how much of a role that plays. That was when the tide turned in this match, and now Sergeant Slaughter is in a lot of trouble.
He's going to go for it again. This could be it. He plants him. Colonel De Beers hooks the leg. Referee counts 2. And no, Slaughter gets his shoulder up again.
I don't know how he's doing it, but I'll tell you right now, Sergeant Slaughter is going to have to find something. He's going to have to come up with an answer because he's just taking some really big shots, and those take their toll on you. And as the match goes on, it's a lot harder.
Another one. DDT this time, dropping Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, he's supposed to be America's hero, but right now he's America's zero.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, but Sergeant Slaughter definitely having to change the tempo a little bit. And again, flapjacks him right in the middle of the ring. Goes for the belly to belly, and this time it works.
Well, the momentum now behind Sergeant Slaughter, and if you're Colonel De Beers, you better stop it and stop it quick.
De Beers hooking the leg, and he's got his feet up on the ropes. Referee does not see it. And Slaughter has to kick out.
Well, you know what? The referee's job is to watch the shoulders, and that's what he was doing. You can't expect him to see the shoulders and the rope all at the same time now, can you?
Slaughter with a big leg drop. And now appears to be feeling a little bit better about things.
Nice sweep of the legs right there, and just like that, right back in control.
Colonel De Beers thinks he's going to pin him, but not with that move, you're not. It's going to take a lot more than that to beat Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, but at the same time, you never know. Things happen. You catch a guy off guard. Thought the referee was on count number 1 when it was number 2. Things happen.
Neckbreaker right there by De Beers and Slaughter. Deep arm drag. Boy, that really had some torque on it. It whipped him over hard. And now Sergeant Slaughter had him up. He couldn't hold him up. And gets dropped face first. Tremendous back body drop by Sergeant Slaughter.
I don't like the look of this right now. Sergeant Slaughter's got something in mind.
Indeed he does, and it's a Cobra Clutch. We have seen Slaughter fight off despair in the past, and then again, it is over. Nobody survives the Cobra Clutch.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, Sergeant Slaughter all year long has really done a good job of coming back in matches where it looked like it was over. And that Cobra Clutch has been his bread and butter the whole time.
Nobody applies the clutch like Sergeant Slaughter. Ladies and gentlemen, there is your winner from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Sergeant Slaughter. Our opening contest. We'll be back with more AWA Championship Wrestling in a moment. All right, fans, welcome back. And now it is time for a very important match in the tag team division. They represent the Diamond Exchange. However, we have not seen Diamond Dallas Page in recent weeks, and we're not sure if he's out scouting more talent or what's going on.
Well, more importantly, Buddy Rose and his tag team partner over here, they don't know either. Pretty boy Doug Summers, they haven't seen their guy in a while, and I don't know what's going on here, but this is a very big match, and I'm very surprised he's not ringside for this one.
Well, we saw them come out last week and challenge the AWA Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. But the problem is that challenge came right after Bad Company had defeated the Midnight Express. So tonight, the number one contenders go up against the team who feels that they contractually have a return match set. One of these two teams is going to be victorious, and they are going to be the top challengers for the tag team titles here in the AWA.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. You know, Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka, these are a couple of guys who have had a rough go of it in 2K18 season. And the last couple of weeks, finally, they start to hit their stride. Diamond Dallas Page was their manager at one point in time, but he abandoned them. Then he went over to Doug Summers and Playboy Buddy Rose.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these two teams do. As we mentioned earlier, Bad Company had a great week last week, getting the upset win over the Midnight Rockers. Now, the Rockers will be in action later tonight. It'll be a non-title match. The collar and elbow leads to a top wrist lock right now, and Pat Tanaka and Playboy Buddy Rose going back and forth with that.
Well, Tanaka much more athletic than Buddy Rose. A lot faster than Buddy Rose. I would say Buddy Rose probably has the power advantage, though.
Well, he definitely has the weight advantage.
Yeah, well, he's got that too, but I don't think that's going to matter as much as the power. Buddy Rose doesn't use his weight well.
Got him in a butterfly suplex. Takes him all the way over. My goodness. I don't know that I would have thought he could do that.
Well, Pat Tanaka's got some hidden strength that you wouldn't necessarily know to look at him.
Off that middle rope and down with that Asian chop to the forehead of Buddy Rose. And now the Playboy trying to fight his way back in. All roads lead to Glory Bound, October 3rd, here on the Nation Network. The supercard of wrestling that is going to set the standard.
Now, I'll tell you right now, I'm excited about it. I've already been contacted, so I'll be a part of it. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to this one.
I know I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting event. Pat Tanaka now sending him into the turnbuckle. Tag is made. And here we go. Double team. Doug Summers going up in the air with a double back body drop, and he lands on the mat. Lunges and makes the tag. Here comes Playboy Buddy Rose with a running clothesline on Paul Diamond.
Well, you know what I said earlier? He doesn't use his weight well. I take it back. He just used it perfectly. He ran right over Paul Diamond. And again, now he's using it very smartly as he steps across the midsection. All that weight right down in the middle section of Paul Diamond.
And now Playboy Buddy Rose goes up to the apron, and I think he was going to try the splash, but Pat Tanaka thought better of it. Playboy Buddy Rose driving Paul Diamond into the canvas with all that weight on top. Paul Diamond does a great job. There it goes. Tag made. Double team. Doug Summers still out on the floor.
Oh, and Playboy Buddy Rose just dropped across the top rope. That'll take a lot of steam out of you.
Doug Summers and Playboy Buddy Rose right now not having a good day.
Well, this is what happens when you're not there with your manager. You know, Diamond Dallas Page was the guy who was the voice of reason. Diamond Dallas Page was the guy who would have told them what was coming and what to do and got their heads back on straight, but right now they don't have that.
Pat Tanaka in the wrong part of town now. Here comes the double team. Summers and Rose with a double back body drop. Way into the air he goes. Nice sledgehammer to the back. Pat Tanaka now on the receiving end.
Well, it's all about ebbs and flows in wrestling matches, and right now, the flow is in favor of Doug Summers and Playboy Buddy Rose.
He's got him in an abdominal stretch, and now look at this, really putting the torque on him.
I don't know. It seems to me that puts less torque on him.
Doug Summers now stalking his prey. He's got him up. It could be the brain buster. It is.
Well, he caught him with that one, and that might be all she wrote.
Save made by Paul Diamond.
Well, Pat Tanaka can thank his partner for that one.
And now he's got his feet up on the ropes. Referee doesn't see it, but Pat Tanaka able to kick out the back. Overhand knife edge chop right across the head.
He can split cantaloupes open with that fist and that hand. Well trained in the martial arts. Coming down across the head like that is dangerous.
Big elbow. Finding its mark. And the pretty boy in trouble. Summers couldn't hold him, and Paul Diamond makes him pay. And now all the way up to the top rope goes Paul Diamond.
He wants him back on his feet. Doug Summers is going to oblige unwittingly.
He came up with that cross body block. And he clobbered Doug Summers with it.
Now going to work on the leg. Doesn't seem like there's much rhyme nor reason to what he's doing here, but he's getting a lot accomplished nonetheless.
Oh, and there we have it, the pretty boy with a DDT. Paul Diamond may be done.
Well, he hasn't moved.
And now Playboy Buddy Rose rubbing his face right into the mat.
Well, I kind of like that move. You know, a little insult to injury. It's a psychological advantage. When your face is being grounded into that nasty, dirty mat like that. It affects you psychologically.
Butterfly suplex. How does that affect the psychology?
Well, if you're Paul Diamond, it puts you back down the map. And if you're Playboy Buddy Rose, it makes you wonder.
That back super kick, and it caught him. He pulls him away from the ropes, hooks the leg. Will that be enough? Save was made by the pretty boy.
Now Doug Summers going to work on Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond both.
Both men laid out in the middle of the ring right now. Playboy Buddy Rose on the right, Paul Diamond on the left. Both men struggling to get back to their feet.
Well, that tells you the kind of match we've had here tonight.
He's got him up across the shoulders, and now Playboy Buddy Rose looking for what? Turnbuckle. Big elbow dropped by the Playboy Buddy Rose.
He hooks the leg, and I believe this match is over.
It is.
Well, just like that, momentum leaves the building. Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond come off for a big win, and now they follow it up with an equally devastating loss.
There were plenty of times here where it looked like Bad Company was going to have this match. And despite the outcome, there's no doubt in my mind they're capable of beating Rose and Summers on any given night.
Yeah, well, any given night is not tonight.
Well, we have to see what that does to the tag team title picture, fans. We'll have more AWA Championship Wrestling here when we return. All right, we are back, and we are being joined once again by Sergeant Slaughter. He was victorious earlier tonight against Colonel De Beers. There was some controversy, however, during that match.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure about controversy. It could have just been a miscue in the back. Accidents do happen. Get hot, you maggot. Now there's a guy out here called Larry Zbyszko. Zbyszko, you trash. I know you had something to do with that music queuing up. You tried to sabotage Sergeant Slaughter, but you couldn't get the job done. Because nobody beats the red, white, and blue, and that means you. If you want to turn around and make this a little bit more personal, then I say, it's time to deal with things on a personal level. On October 3rd, I will be glory bound, and I am challenging you, Larry Zbyszko. I am challenging you to the match that I made famous. I am challenging you to the original hardcore match. On October 3rd, Larry Zbyszko, I, Sergeant Slaughter, am going to dismantle you in a boot camp match. And that's an order.
A boot camp match at Glory Bound. All right, welcome back, wrestling fans. More AWA Championship Wrestling coming to you live from the Showboat Pavilion in Las Vegas, Nevada. Our next contest is a return match from several weeks ago. Ray the Crippler Stevens going to go up against Larry Hennig.
Well, yeah, but last time these two men, it didn't work out very well for Larry Hennig, now did it?
Stevens living up to his name, pile driving Larry Hennig, a senior veteran here in the world of AWA wrestling. And he dropped him on his head with that vicious pile driver over and over again, to the point where Larry Zbyszko, or I beg your pardon, Larry Hennig needed assistance leaving the ring. Now, of course, his son is the reigning AWA champion.
That's right, Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig on a number of occasions has tagged up with his father. But tonight it'll be a one-on-one match.
Well, not only that, but a lot's changed over the last few weeks, though, even for Ray Stevens. He was a member of the Heenan family. Now the Heenan family's pretty much gone.
Well, he turned his back on Nick Bockwinkel, if that's what you're referring to, which I'm sure it is. Nick Bockwinkel, in the meantime, has made it his life's mission to rid the world of Ray Stevens in professional wrestling.
Well, he won't be the first to try. He may be the first to succeed, though, because as you can tell, Ray the Crippler Stevens is still here, and he's ready as ever.
Bell Sounds action's underway. Larry the Axe Hennig. Nice body slam right there. Now he throws Stevens across the ring. No collar and elbow in this one.
Wait a minute, what's going on here?
There was a distraction. I'm not sure what that was all about, but now Ray the Crippler Stevens takes advantage of it, and he's going to go for the pile driver.
Oh, and just like that, it's over.
Very possibly so. He hooks the leg. Referee's down for the count. But Hennig gets a shoulder up off the mat.
You see now, what did I say? It was probably just a technical glitch. The odds of it happening twice in the same night. But Sergeant Slaughter's all hell-bent on saying Larry Zbyszko did it.
Well, I've got to admit, it does seem odd that it would happen 2 times in the same evening, but it also seems like something Larry Zbyszko would have done.
Well, then who did it this time?
I have no idea. Neckbreaker on the concrete floor. Into the steel post. And Ray Stevens getting paid back for everything he did to Larry Hennig weeks ago. Irish whip to the ropes he goes. Back out front, both men collide. And now it is Ray Stevens sending Larry Hennig into the turnbuckle.
Larry Hennig is no spring chicken, so when he comes down with a move like this one right here, the superplex, it's definitely going to jar that body.
And now hooking the leg. Going to the eyes and rakes the eyes. Ray the Crippler Stevens driving the knee into the head of Larry Zbyszko, and now the blood flowing.
Yeah, he split his head wide open, and now another knee.
Oh, man, that's a bad sign right there. I don't like to see him in that kind of condition.
Another pile driver to follow up, and that's it. It's over.
1, 2, and 3. Ray the Crippler Stevens took advantage of whatever miscue that was.
Well, Colonel DeBeers couldn't make a good advantage gain out of the music going off during his match with Sergeant Slaughter, but Ray the Crippler Stevens took full advantage of it.
As we look back on some of the highlights from this one, there were definitely some close calls. That was the one right there that did him in. You see that blood flowing, and there's the pile driver, and that's it. Ray the Crippler Stevens, Nick Bockwinkel, still with so much left to prove. We'll be back, fans. Stay with us. All right, fans, we are back. This is our feature match of the evening. We still have a tag team match to follow. The AWA champion, Curt Hennig, is here. This is a non-title match. But the bad blood between him and Jerry Lawler continues to boil.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Lawler has to win the match. Title or no title, he just has to win. Because what happened last week? Last week he came out here and accepted a challenge by the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. And he lost.
Well, with all due respect, that was one heck of a competition between those two men. And I don't know that Lawler has anything to hold his head down about. I think he did an admirable job during that match. But yeah, he came up short.
Well, you can't come up short against both champions now, can you?
It wouldn't help his argument any, that's for certain.
You know what? You don't normally see the champion come out first, but with the champion's prerogative, he decided he wanted to be in the ring.
Well, speaking of champions, here is the AWA America's champion, Jerry Lawler. Lawler has had a pretty solid year here on the Nation Network, claiming the World Class Championship and then taking off with it, showing up here in the AWA and using that as a poker chip, if you will.
Well, he did, but look what happened now. We've got a unified world champion, and his name is Curt Hennig.
Lawler wants that belt more than he wants air. And he knows that if he can beat Curt Hennig here tonight, he will be able to make a solid claim to that title. Oh, look at this. Go for the pile driver. Wow, early on in the contest.
Not only that, but that's a move that Lawler generally uses as a finisher. There's a little bit of a message being sent, I believe.
Another big suplex right there, and Curt Hennig in trouble. Raking the eyes. The self-professed king of wrestling, Jerry Lawler.
Back body drop right there by the champ. And now Curt Hennig, he knew that it wasn't going to be easy being champion. And he had to go up against some of the best names in the business. Well, here's another one to add to that list.
Face first into the canvas, and he eats it. Lawler back on top for the moment. How long can he maintain it? Straightens him up with a tremendous knee lift. Hennig now with a float over neck breaker. Inverted atomic knee drop, and now the king, maybe a queen.
Yeah, the inverted atomic knee drop, man, there's no defending that. That is just pure pain.
Another snap suplex by Curt Hennig. And Lawler sends him into the turnbuckle. His Majesty from the middle rope. Fist right to the head. That's one of his go-home moves.
Well, he's won a lot of matches with that move. Quite honestly, I'm surprised he didn't go for a cover.
It may have had the reverse effect, however, because right now Hennig seems even more fired up than he was. And now look at this, Lawler. He's going to go for the pile driver, and that's his.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, nobody hits that pile driver quite the way Jerry Lawler does.
Is it enough to hold the shoulders down? No.
I've got to tell you, I'm amazed. Curt Hennig able to get that shoulder up, but it took everything he had in him.
It definitely did. And now the Snapmare takes him over. The axe. He caught him with it. Passed down by his father. And Larry, I beg your pardon, Jerry Lawler able to get his shoulder up.
Well, the axe attack is a lethal weapon. That forearm stiff upside the head can really knock you into tomorrow.
Now he drops Jerry Lawler across the top rope. Hennig starting to really feel confident in this match, and why shouldn't he?
Well, he's totally in control right now of Jerry Lawler. And as I mentioned earlier, Lawler's going to have to find a way to win this match. He cannot afford not to.
The champion with that knife edge chop to the chest. Snapmare takes him over now. Hennig snaps the neck.
Another trademark move right there by Hennig.
Went for the suplex, but he couldn't get it.
Lucky break for Lawler, because if that would have been the fisherman suplex, then it would have been all over.
Lawler goes for the cover. His feet are on the ropes. Referee doesn't see it.
Oh, he caught him with the axe attack once again.
And Lawler's out. That may be it. Yes.
Well, that's a bad break for Jerry Lawler right there, because I'll tell you, you just lost to Ric Flair, now you've lost to Curt Hennig. I don't know where you're going to go from here.
Wait a minute. What the heck is going on here? Why is he... Hold on just a moment.
That title wasn't on the line. The America's title wasn't on the line, was it?
All right, fans, we are back, and just some clarification. The referee inadvertently handed the wrong championship title to Kurt Hennig. The America's champion is still Jerry Lawler.
Well, how's that for embarrassing, right? Even though we're coming down to the end of the road for 2K18, we can still find the new glitches because there are oh so many of them.
All right, Dennis Condrey making his way to the ring. His tag team partner, Lou Fabiano. And here come their opponents. They are the World Tag Team Champions here in the AWA, the Midnight Rockers.
Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, and they've really been flying high as of late. Wins over teams like the Rock and Roll Express. That's how you get to be number one.
Well, they did come off of that loss to Bad Company. You have to wonder now.
Yeah, but now Bad Company just came off a big loss as well to the Diamond Exchange.
The diversity and the talent right here in the AWA. So many teams, different styles, different looks, but all extraordinarily talented. Shawn Michaels going to work on Dennis Condrey, formerly of the Midnight Express. We understand that Randy Rose has left the territory.
Yeah, Randy Rose, I mean, they went over to the NWA and ran into the other Midnight Express. Things didn't work out well. And, well, Randy Rose has just decided he's done. He took off, and Condrey now is pretty much flying solo, it appears. I don't think he has any long-term plans with Lou Fabiano, but hey, you know what? If they win this match somehow, which would take a lot to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back into being a team right here.
Well, to your point, you're right. I don't think it's going to happen either. But if it did. Condrey trying to make his way over to his tag team partner, unable to get there. And now Marty Jannetty with a big DDT. Once again, fans, we thank you for joining us here on the Nation Network. All roads lead to Glory Bound on October 3rd. We hope you'll be able to join us then. Mark it down on your calendar now. Lunging tag is made, and now Fabiano's in. I don't know that Marty Jannetty realized he made the tag.
I don't think so either, because he went after Nick Bockwinkel.
Well, Lou Fabiano now with the opportunity right here.
You talk about a guy who's had a 2K18 season. Lou Fabiano looking for win number one.
Now it is Marty Jannetty teeing off on Fabiano. Jannetty wrenching the knee and the leg.
Well, Fabiano right now is in a bad spot because he's far away from Dennis Condrey. He needs to make a tag, in my opinion, now.
Jannetty manages to get off the shoulders and dropping Fabiano again.
Lou Fabiano's in all kinds of trouble right now. Oh, wow, big back kick right there.
Referee now admonishing. There's a tag made. Are we going to see it? The new move. They called it the record breaker, but then they said, no, we think it's a chart buster.
Well, the chart buster or the record breaker, call it what you want.
Cross body block. And that's it. It's over. The AWA Tag Team Champions, ladies and gentlemen, the Midnight Rockers.
Well, Chartbuster is definitely a good word for it. Look at the double team there.
Fabiano had no idea what happened to him. And just like that, your winners, the Midnight Rockers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Nation Network for AWA Championship Wrestling. We'll see you next time.